Local reaction to a stunning political move. The NDP has dissolved its supply and confidence deal with the Liberal government. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh announced today that he's ripped up the agreement with the Liberals.
Our local Liberal MPs say they're disappointed by the move. Justin Hardy joins us in studio. Justin, now this doesn't necessarily mean that there will be an early election, correct?
That's right, Ryan. But Singh's announcement makes it more likely that an early election will be called. The NDP have clarified that they are ready for Canadians to head to the polls early, should it come to it. A massive announcement changing the climate of federal politics.
Fact is, the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people. They cannot be the change. They cannot restore the hope. They cannot stop the Conservatives, but we can.
The Supply and Confidence Agreement was put in place March of 2022, but has now been ripped up by NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. The deal saw the NDP supporting the Liberals in confidence and budgetary matters, while the Liberals committed to the NDP's legislative priorities. With this deal gone, opposition parties could topple the government. Thunder Bay Superior North MP and Cabinet Minister Patty Hajdu says that the news from the NDP was an unwelcome surprise.
I think Canadians expect Parliament and parliamentarians to work together, and it's disappointing that the leader of the NDP is, playing politics while Canadians are expecting us to deliver for them. And when I, as a member of Parliament, that's my job. My job is to deliver for the riding, make sure that I am able to express the riding's thoughts and perceptions of what's happening in the world and their need and as a region.
Thunder Bay Rainy River MP Marcus Pawlowski says he doesn't believe an election is imminent, but he does expect to see things get more interesting in the House of Commons.
The plot thickens in Ottawa. There's going to be a lot more politics going on in the coming months and a lot more jockeying on every single issue to see what gets through and what doesn't get through. And I think like every party's kind of assessing where they are in terms of their current popularity and whether they see it as going up or down. Is this the time to call an election, or is it better we do it in 6 months? And that's really unfortunate.
There have been continued calls from Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre to end this deal. Dougal Media reached out to Conservative MP Eric Malillo, but he was unavailable for comment. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Jonathan Masot has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 12 years. Masot was convicted of second-degree murder in the 2014 death of William Wapoose. The sentencing happened today at the Thunder Bay Courthouse. Witnesses previously testified that Masot and a male youth were walking through Chapels Park in September of 2014 when they decided to rob Wapoose. The testimony went on to say Masot struck Wapoose on the head with a heavy pole before dragging him to a nearby ditch where he and the youth continued to beat him. A post-mortem found Wapoose suffered multiple injuries, including a deep stab wound in the neck. Full details from today's sentencing can be found on tbnewswatch.com.
Well, turning to much lighter news, the school year officially began this morning as students here returned to the classroom.
The new year brings with it a fresh start for staff and, of course, the students who are entering their first year with the new provincial cell phone rules. Joel Mendelson reports.
Even though it means the summer has ended, the first day of school is an exciting time for everyone. The students are ready to take on new classes and are eager to meet their new teachers, and it serves as a fresh start going into the year.
The new year is always exciting because it's about new beginnings, and we're getting to know some of our new families, but also getting to welcome our old families.
Their smiles are big and they're bright, and it's really wonderful to hear their conversations in the hallway with their classmates and their teachers about their summer explorations and adventures.
Along with the fresh start, students are excited to reconnect with friends they missed over the summer.
To see all my friends.
Because I get to see all my friends.
Fun to be back at school with friends, but I'm also kind of sad the summer's over.
I get to see a lot of people that I wouldn't regularly hang out with during the summer.
I like to see my friends again and to see what teacher I get. Probably seeing all my friends again.
Meeting back some old friends from before and seeing them again. I missed my best friend because I don't see him a lot in the summer. We live far from each other.
Probably making new friends.
While children are excited to see their friends again, many of them are also excited to continue their learning journeys.
Actually looking forward to learning and more paying attention to people.
I like math even though it's not my best subject, and I also like drama because I am really good at that.
My favorite subject is art. I like to just be free, you can create whatever you want on the page.
One new element this year is the provincial policy to limit cell phone use in classrooms. The parents we spoke to seem to be united in support of the rule.
And I think this is an excellent rule. You're going to start seeing more kids paying attention to the classroom.
So they may be demotivated and maybe defocused from their study. So I'm agree with that policy.
If they are able to keep them out or limit them in the classroom, it's going to make a huge difference for everybody.
We're hoping that it's going to be a non-issue. If kids are struggling, then we're going to be, of course, working with them and giving gentle reminders. But our priority is to make sure that it's a learning environment that's conducive to all.
Joel Mendelson, TBT News.
The first day of school isn't exciting for everyone. In remote communities all over the north, parents are saying goodbye to their kids who have to leave home to attend high school hundreds of kilometers away.
I have mixed feelings because, you want to encourage them to try and be successful in attending school. But there's, over the last, 20 years, we've lost students that has gone to school. Students that never came back.
Kiiwetinoong MPP Saul Mamakwa estimates that only 3 or 4 of the 31 First Nations in his riding have a full high school program. Pakanjikum First Nation is one of the few communities where students can earn a diploma at home. For the rest, going away to school means facing a fear of violence and the uncertainty of being apart from loved ones.
The message to youth is to keep going. It's to keep on living because we need them. We need you. They don't want to build high schools in the north. They don't want to build cheaper residences in the north. They don't want to pay for the teachers to come up in north. It's almost going back to the old Indian residential school system, right? And it's just different.
Mamakwa wants to see a high school in every First Nation. In the meantime, he wants First Nation students to flourish wherever they are. He says he's grateful for initiatives like Wake the Giant and encourages locals in places like Thunder Bay and Sioux Lookout to offer a warm welcome to students from remote communities.
Well, it's not the start of the school year that students in Nipigon and Red Rock were hoping for. All schools in those communities were locked down for just over an hour this afternoon because of a threat made against an individual. OPP say they were able to apprehend a suspect and the lockdowns were lifted. Few details have been released about the threat and police continue to investigate.
In Kenora, officials are warning that the healthcare system is on the brink of collapse and that ER closures could soon be necessary. They say doctors have been leaving steadily over the past 2 years and the staffing crisis is alarming. According to Lake of the Woods District Hospital, 20 physicians worked in the emergency department heading into the summer of 2022, but there are now only 9, all part-time. In a written statement, they say physicians are leaving to work in communities where there are competitive wages, more administrative support, and manageable workloads. Kiiwetinoong MPP Saul Mamakwa says the agreements between the physicians and the Ministry of Health aren't working and are driving people away from northern hospitals.
The government's talking about this, selling alcohol in, corner stores. That's their priority, and versus health, and then selling alcohol in corner stores and 4,000 corner stores, and that's tomorrow. What about the healthcare?
The hospital says the All Nations Health Partners team has a plan to transform the local system and are urging the Ministry of Health to support the plan. In a written statement, Kenora Rainy River MPP Greg Rickford says he hopes a resolution can be found in the near future. No one from the hospital or members of the All Nations Health Partners were available to speak today, but they're expected to address the situation on Friday.
There are some positive healthcare developments in Rainy River 2 weeks after physicians there announced that they'll pull out of the hospital at the end of the month. Rainy River Mayor Deb Ewald now says that Riverside Healthcare, which runs the hospital, has managed to schedule enough doctors to keep the ER open through October. They'll rely on a combination of doctors from the Fort Francis Hospital and temporary locum doctors from other areas.
Big changes to alcohol sales in our province are now just one day away.
As of tomorrow, you'll be able to buy beer, wine, and ready-to-drink cocktails at thousands of convenience stores. CTV's Nathan Downer shows us how retailers and the government are getting ready.
So we got some twisted teas here.
The mixed drinks are ready for the floor at Zala's Convenience in downtown Brampton. It's one of more than 4,100 new locations that will start selling booze this week. The idea came from Sivain Balakumar's mom, for whom this place is a passion project.
The last 2 years, we went from nothing to it's so much better now, so she wants to take every opportunity she can to make it even better.
An opportunity for the store's earning potential, but that's not without its challenges.
We have a lot of petty theft, and it comes with obviously convenience area, stuff like that. So then we decided we're actually going to move it here behind the counter. So that's going to be even more work.
To extend a counter or build a new display.
We're really looking forward on Thursday, opening up the 4,000 stores to have convenience for people.
A convenience that cost more than $200 million to break a contract with the beer store more than a year early. And there's a human cost, with doctors warning increased access will exacerbate addictions and lead to more crashes and hospital visits. The premier blows off comparisons to location restrictions placed on supervised drug consumption sites and pot shops.
Last time I checked, the convenience stores don't have needles lying around the front of their stores, and they're well equipped. They've dealt with everything from tobacco to lottery tickets, now beer and wine, and they're going to be very responsible.
Taking on selling booze is a risk for small businesses like this one, around the corner from an LCBO.
Got to be competitive with them being so close. So it might be more of a headache than worth it, but maybe in the long term, I'm going to have my mom's attitude. It'll work out.
CTV's Nathan Downer reporting. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and the local prostate cancer support group is pulling out all the stops to urge more men to think about their health and get tested. The group marked the start of the month with a flag raising at City Hall yesterday. The Persian Man will support the cause by selling blue Persians this month. Various locations around the city will also be lit up blue, reminding men to get tested. Prostate Cancer Support Thunder Bay President Ed Long says all men over 45 should get a PSA test, which is a non-invasive blood test. High-risk groups, including Black and Indigenous people, or anyone with a family history of prostate cancer, should get tested when they're younger. The group is holding an event at the 55 Plus Center on Saturday to give out vouchers for the tests.
Every year we've had this event, there's been someone that has been found to have prostate cancer, which is higher than the rates of screening that the doctors usually have. And so that really makes it worthwhile for us. Somebody gets treated earlier than they would have, it's found before it would have, and it makes us want to keep doing this. And so men, come out. Don't be afraid.
The Men Make It Happen event, as it's called, starts at 10 and includes speakers on a range of men's health topics. For anyone who can't make the event, the group will reimburse people for the cost of one PSA if you're uninsured. Information is available on the group's website.
Over 200 firefighters are in Thunder Bay this week, participating in the annual FireCon.
For more than 30 years, Emergency North Training has provided affordable and accessible training programs every September. Neb Van Pelt explains.
Over the past 3 decades, Thunder Bay has hosted FireCon, giving firefighters across the region and beyond the opportunity to participate in a variety of different training sessions. Over 200 firefighters are taking part in this year's training conference, and Thunder Bay Fire Chief David Paxton spoke about the growth of the event.
A great opportunity to train and network and educate firefighters of Northwestern Ontario, although recently it's expanded to, we've got members of fire service from Southern Ontario, we've had U.S. members, so it's growing quite significantly, especially with the certification offerings that we're able to provide now.
FireCon is a 5-day event put on by the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs and offers live training sessions, online courses, as well as a professional trade show. Courses include fire investigation, pump ops, Auto X, hazmat, and much more.
The students come in, they spend 40 hours of online training before they get to the live burn cells. We burn a cell in front of the students so they can see fire growth and how the fire spreads within a compartment. and then we go through and we teach them how to do a fire investigation.
Instructors come from all over Ontario, including Thunder Bay, Atikokan, Kenora, South Bruce, and London. After 2 days of training, participants feel they're already benefiting from their courses.
It's an enjoyable experience. This is my first time, so it's a little bit to get used to, but it's been great. Everybody kind of offers their own method to the madness, so it's good. It's been a good learning experience.
FireCon is very beneficial to firefighters across the region as they're provided with updated training that they might not otherwise receive in their smaller communities.
It's hugely important because they don't always have the ability to support these training opportunities. Smaller communities, our neighboring communities as well, so Thunder Bay being a host, we can help provide the facility to do some of this more complicated training.
Being able to have an opportunity like FireCon to have these courses in the north for some of our smaller departments, it makes a huge difference to the service that we're able to provide to our communities.
Nev Van Pelt, TBT News.
Looks like some interesting training that was happening there today. Fiona, though maybe not the day that you do want to do a lot of burning, as we can see those temperatures behind you. A little roasty out there.
It was definitely warm for this time of year, although it wasn't quite the super summer send-off we were hoping for as far as the sun. You know, we have to admit, Haley did not call it a super sunny summer send-off. It was just a super summer send-off. So we got the temperatures of the summer, 25 and a humidex of 29. Winds were from the southwest, at times a little bit gusty this afternoon, up to 34 kilometers per hour. That was after an early morning low of 11. Then if we take a look at what's going on right now throughout the region, we do have sunshine further to the north. So they are getting the super sunny send-off. We got the heat. They got the sunshine, and Fort Frances, unfortunately, getting some rain as it's starting to move in through the region. They've got a lot of clouds in Dryden at 22 and Upsala also 22, but Fort Frances currently sitting at 19, which is actually their low for the day. Humidex did hit 27 earlier today to the west. To the east, temperatures again in the low 20s, but all that sunshine and the humidex is hovering in the high 20s, 28 to 29 for Greenstone and even into Sault Ste. Marie, where it is partly cloudy at this time. In the city of Thunder Bay tonight, we are looking at a low of 16, but it comes with a bit of a caveat. Now, at this time, it is still very warm in Thunder Bay and the surrounding areas. We have a 40% chance of showers beginning overnight, and this evening a chance of a thunderstorm. But the temperature isn't going to drop to that 16 Celsius until tomorrow morning, so just before the sun comes up. And that's when the rain is going to move in full. So it's still going to be a very warm night overnight. It won't hit that 16, which is still quite warm for this time of year, until the morning. But after that, tomorrow, the temperatures are just going to go downhill from there. We'll actually start our day at the high of 16, and it will get cooler from then with wind, and we have some potential rain coming in. So enjoy today because fall is going to come in with a thud.
Okay, yeah, never great news, Fiona, when your daytime high happens overnight. That's rarely a good sign. All right, when we return, we will get back to our top story, and that is federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh pulling his support from the Liberals. Remember that supply and confidence deal has been in place for about 2 years. That's essentially propped up the minority Liberal government. We'll hear from the three major party leaders. That's right after the break.
I am not focused on politics. I'll let other parties focus on politics. I'm focused on actually delivering the things that Canadians told me this summer they need.